when grief touches our lives, we are touched in many, many different ways, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Grief touches every avenue of our life. And from this point forward, I'm not going to do just the talking. I'm going to ask you a little bit to participate because I like knowing that you're here with me. And I am a person like everyone in this room, and my life has been touched by pain just like everyone in this room. So I want us to be on level playing ground when we talk and when we communicate, and I love when people talk. So don't be shy, especially when I ask the question, what is grief? If we're going to talk about grief, what is grief? A feeling of deep sorrow. What else is grief? Anybody? Anger. It can be, can definitely be combined with anger. Absolutely. Yes. There's always pain associated with grief. Yes? Depression. Lots of times depression is part of grief. Absolutely. I have a definition of grief that I came up with, and mine says grief is that intense emotional suffering caused by loss, disaster, misfortune, hardship, and pain. And that's probably a very limited explanation, but it gives you a broad view of what grief is all about. Does grief always come from death? No, absolutely not. In my introduction, I purposefully told you many parts of my life that have been touched by grief, and a lot did not involve death. A lot of my grief comes from different types of pain, and I'm going to open it up to you. What are some of the losses that cause pain, that cause grief? Yes? A broken relationship? Failed relationship. Absolutely. I didn't tell you all that when my sister died, my sister Carmela died, my parents divorced a year later. And I was into my, just about up to the point of my mom's death, I was still praying the same prayer. Dear God, if it be thy will, please let my mom and dad get back together again. Very basic prayer, a child's prayer. It was a grief that I held until the moment my mom died, and I knew that my mom and dad would never get back together again. Divorce was difficult. Little did I know later in my life that I would have a separation from my husband resulting in divorce, and my children would then be left with the grief of divorced parents. That was never my intention, ever. What other kind of grief do we experience? Yes. Loss of a job is huge, isn't it? Yes. I was just explaining to Alex on the way up that I found out that one of the jobs that I work is probably going to end due to the business closing. And we grieve. There are tears and there's deep loss felt over that. What else? One or two.